The Ditadura Nacional was the name of the Portuguese regime that started in 1928 after re-election of General Óscar Carmona to the post of president. The preceding military dictatorship period that started after the 28th of May 1926 coup d'etat is known as Ditadura Militar. After adopting a new constitution in 1933, the regime changed its name to Estado Novo. It is considered that the Ditadura Nacional, together with the Estado Novo, forms the historical period of the Portuguese Second Republic. Ditadura Militar, 1926 to 1928. The military coup of May 28 easily seized power. Very soon dictatorship closes parliament, bans all political parties and institutes censorship, but is rocked by instability as hardline officers force out liberals. During this time no one clear leader emerges, as dictatorship is controlled by a coalition of lower-ranked military officers, some of whom are integralists. After Republican Prime Minister and President resign on May 30, naval officer José Mendes Cabacadas Jr. assumes both posts, but after conflicts with other coup leaders is forced to resign on June 17. He is followed by General Gomes da Costa, who assumed post of Prime Minister and President. The figurehead general does not want to establish a military dictatorship and is forced out on July 9 by General António Óscar Carmona, who assumes both highest offices of the state. Carmona continues as Prime Minister until April 18, 1928 and retains the post of President until his death on April 18, 1951. During 1927 there are failed coup attempts from the left and right-wing movements. On August 12, 1927 junior officers break into cabinet meeting and start shooting. Carmona government regains control and imposes stronger military discipline. However, the attackers are not punished. They are sent to army posts in Portuguese Angola. Ditadura Nacional, 1928 to 1933. On March 25, 1928, Carmona organizes presidential election and is elected to a 5-year term. On April 18 he appoints José Vicente de Freitas as the new prime minister. António de Oliveira Salazar becomes Minister of Finances. The conflicts between the military officers and Catholic wing represented by Salazar increase to a point where the whole Freitas government resigns. On July 8, 1929, and only Salazar keeps his ministerial post in the new cabinet of Artur Ivans Ferraz. Salazar's influence begins to grow at the expense of military officers who begin to lose the political power. After a conflict with Salazar in 1930, Ferraz was replaced by General Domingos Oliveira, who allowed Salazar to play an ever-increasing role in finances and politics. By 1930 military dictatorship had stabilized Portugal and had to think about the future. In what form was the dictatorship to continue? The answer was provided by Salazar, who became Prime Minister on July 5, 1932 and in 1933 instituted the Estado Novo regime. Timeline: 1928 to 1933. 1928 February, the Comissão de Propaganda da Ditadura is created. March 17, the Police of Information of Porto and Lisbon are fused. April 18, General José Vicente de Freitas becomes Prime Minister. April 26, António de Oliveira Salazar becomes Minister of Finance for the second time. General António Óscar de Carmona remains President of the Republic. Acordo missionario between the Catholic Church and the Portuguese Republic, giving special status to the action of the Catholic Church in Portugal's colonies. Failed Republican revolutionary attempt against the Ditadura Nacional. The Portuguese Communist Party's main office is closed. 1929 July 8, Artur Ivans Ferraz becomes Prime Minister. Roman Catholic religious institutes are again permitted in Portugal. The Portuguese Communist Party is reorganized under Bento Gonçalves, adapting the party to its new illegal status. The reorganization creates a net of clandestine cells to avoid the wave of detentions. 1930 January 21, Domingos da Costa e Oliveira becomes Prime Minister. The Acto Colonial is published, defining the status of Portuguese colonies. The fundamental principles of the new regime are presented by António de Oliveira Salazar in the 4th anniversary of the 28th of May Revolution. 1932 July 5, António de Oliveira Salazar becomes Prime Minister. 1933 A new constitution is approved in a referendum, defining Portugal as a cooperative, single-party and multi-continental country. An authoritarian right-wing dictatorial regime entitled Estado Novo is installed. The single-party União Nacional is created. The Estatuto de Trabalho Nacional is published, prohibiting all free trade unions. A political police, the PVDE, is created. Censorship, particularly of the mass media, is systematic.